I don't know what happened or what was on that night, but she just felt so comfortable. It was so comfortable for her to say, and then we were later on.
Okay. You're here for a story. I'm gonna tell the story. But if I have lipstick on my teeth for this entire video, I'm gonna be very upset. So let me just like... Okay. This happened to me when I was in high school because that is the only acceptable age range for something like this to happen. So I was 16, I was a junior, and at this point I hadn't really, I hadn't really come out to anyone, and I hadn't really been that concerned with like labeling my sexuality. At this point, I just knew that there was a girl I liked that I was never gonna date. So I was like, whatever. So there was a boy who happened to be the quarterback of the football team, might I add. And our last names were next to each other in the alphabet. So we had gym class, and during attendance, we had to sit next to each other every day for like 20 minutes before class started and while they were doing attendance. So we naturally started to talk. We became friends. We became really cool. We got kind of close. And after a while, all of my friends started to be like, he totally has a crush on you. He totally likes you. He's so into you. Oh my God, he's always flirting with you. He always makes it a point to stand next to you every time in class. Da, da, da. And I was like, he is always trying to impress me with like football stuff that I don't even know about. Like he would always be like, oh, did you see the sack I made at the game last week? And I was just like, I don't know what a sack is. So no, I didn't see it. So I was like, you know what? I think he does like me. I think you guys are right, you know? And I was like, I should do something about it. So my thought, because I can't do anything like a normal human being, hi cat, was that instead of just talking to him and asking him if he liked me like a normal person, I was going to make a poster. So I literally got some poster board and I wrote his name, and then I wrote, meet me in this hallway before school tomorrow. And I hung it up where I knew he would see it. And I just didn't think of the fact that other people would also see the poster. So I left it up for like an hour, just long enough. I put it up after school, just long enough for him to see it when he was like going to practice or whatever. But yeah, a lot of other people saw it, and then a lot of other people talked about it because it was naturally gossip worthy. And so the next morning, there was a crowd. There was a crowd in the hallway, and when they saw him arrive, they did like scoot around the corner to give him some privacy. So then I got there, and I basically was like, hey, I feel like you like me, so like we should like date. And he was like, okay. And I was like, cool. And then we held hands for like 0.5 seconds. And then we went on our merry way to, you know, have school the rest of the day. So I'm acting normal the whole day. We're talking, we're chilling, everything's fine. You know, I'm just acting normal. And then after school comes and he's like, hey, I need to talk to you. And I was like, okay. And you know, then he just like takes me off into like some other hallway after school, and he's just like, so my parents said I can't have a girlfriend during football season, so like we have to break up. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. I was like, okay, that's fine, I totally understand. You know, yeah. So we were over, and it was just one school day that we were together, and the whole situation became so uncomfortable because I had decided to make that so public. So everybody knew what had happened. Like we had a lot of classes together. We had gym together, we had like 2 or 3 other classes together. So I saw him pretty regularly throughout the day. And we had a lot of mutual friends, and we knew a lot of the same people, and it was very uncomfortable because then we never like really talked again. And I had to sit next to him for attendance like usual every single day. And it was very uncomfortable. And then also the shadiest part on my end was also the fact that he had dated one of my very close friends the year before. So like I had met him before because of that, but they didn't date very long, so I never had actually hung out with him before gym class. But he did date one of my close friends the year before, and she was actually in our gym class, and I didn't want to tell her what was going on. And she was asking me about it, like, do you know who the girl was? And I was like, nope, no idea. Beats me, no idea. Like, who would even like that guy? You know, no idea. But eventually, obviously, she found out naturally, and she was like, why didn't you just tell me? And I was like, I don't know, I just thought that it was weird. I didn't want to say anything. I don't know. And then it just got really uncomfortable. But she was really understanding, actually. Like, she wasn't mad at me. She was just like kind of just like sad that I hadn't said anything to her because she wanted to know, you know. And looking back on this situation, I feel really bad that I made it so public for him, because if I had just went to him and asked him if he liked me, we could have just had a private conversation and we could have just had that between us. And then if things had not worked out, we could have stayed friends. But because it was so public and I made it so uncomfortable, we really just like couldn't talk again afterwards. And it was just so horrible because everybody knew what happened. Like, everybody knew that we had started and then we were done, and that I had done that poster, and everybody knew it. It was so embarrassing. And I literally went home after practice and oh my god, I forgot about this. I was also on the dance team and we had practice, and I like burst into tears during practice. I was just so like frazzled. And then my mom picked me up after practice and I cried in the car. And the thing is, cats, get it. And also the thing is, like, did I cry about it those 2 times? Yeah. Was it only those 2 times? Yeah. And did I cry because I was so heartbroken over this boy? No, I cried because I was so embarrassed and just regretted what I had done. I regretted making it so public. I regretted doing it. I just regretted everything about the situation. I was so embarrassed, so embarrassed, because everybody around me like knew, and I knew people were talking about it, and I couldn't even talk to him, but I had to see him every day, and we could never reconcile our friendship, which I was also sad about because I did like being friends with him. He was a cool guy, you know, and I just was just upset about all that. Was I heartbroken that I didn't get to date him? No. But, you know, my mom to this day likes to use that as like an excuse for why I can't possibly not like men, because I cried so hard over that boy that one time, you know, almost 10 years ago. And she still wants to bring that up. Also, the icing on the cake with this story is that he started dating a different girl still during football season. So I knew that he lied to me. Which I wasn't even necessarily mad at him about. Like, if he didn't like, which I wasn't even necessarily mad at him about. I was like, I understand why you wouldn't just tell me that you don't like me, or like why you would, you know, but I also like didn't really know what the truth was because he got a different girlfriend during football season. So I knew what he told me wasn't the truth, but I don't really know what the truth actually was. Like, I don't know if he just didn't like me, or honestly, I wasn't sure if possibly he might have had racist parents. I did grow up in that type of school where it would definitely be a thing that for me to date the quarterback of the football team who's from a white, probably middle class family, that they would not be okay with their son dating a black girl. That's also a possibility for that school, but I don't know what the truth was. And also, he and my close friend who used to date, they stayed friends. They still talked. And so the following year, they actually ended up going to homecoming together, and I was in their homecoming group because I was close friends with her. So we went to homecoming together, and I had to avoid him the entire night, and it was very, very uncomfortable. Whew. So the moral of the story here is that you should A, not make things super public if you don't know how they're gonna go. I think privacy is always the better option, which is also why, if anybody's wondering if I would ever put my relationships on YouTube, the answer is no, because I prefer to be private, specifically because of situations like that where I decided to do things publicly and it blew up in my face. And also, he is like a doctor now and engaged. So, you know, and I'm single and making YouTube videos. So, you know, but that's just, you know, irrelevant. That's just irrelevant though. So anyways, yep, that was the story of how I had a boyfriend for 6 hours. It may have been like 7 or 8 hours. I don't know how long the school day was in high school, but yeah, that's the story, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed that, and this has been another installation of my bad date story time. Catch you for the next one, because there's a lot.